Welcome guys, we are back. Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome guys. I'm Andy.
Hi Evie, how are you?
Good. Hope you guys had a good week.
Yeah.
How's your week?
It was hectic.
Mine too.
Hectic week, man. We couldn't even see each other or speak to each other. It was a hectic week.
Well, hope you guys had a good one. We had a lot of long weekends, which we were working, but all you guys were off and you had lots of fun and time to rest and chill with family.
Yeah, and I hope you had fun. You had all the things that you wanted to have. As for us, I didn't rest. I only started resting yesterday. But you know what? It was worth it. It was with family. So yeah, we had fun.
Yeah, and so today we're going to talk about a very important issue. I believe it's very important, especially for parents, for siblings even, or if anyone who's a guardian, who's taking care of someone, who's responsible for someone, who's responsible for a young person who's gonna venture into something, who's gonna have a career in the future, right?
Yes, of course. So we're going to dive deep into this topic where we go into careers of our kids. How are we supposed to decide what they're supposed to have? Are we going to be the parents like our own parents, where we will be told what to do, what to choose according to the situation and economic influence and a lot of stuff as well?
That's right. So basically we're talking about how far can a parent or a guardian go into deciding what a child does career-wise? What influence do you have and how much of a say do you have? And what are the factors that contribute to you having that kind of opinion over the career that your child chooses?
Yes, and as you know, Evie, the last time we were kids, we used to be told certain type of jobs that were important, and we were sort of conditioned to think that those are the only types of jobs we are supposed to do. And if you look at us when we were growing up, we would ask each other, so what are you going to be when you grow up? The only jobs that would show up mostly would be like, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a police officer. And some of the jobs that we are seeing now were not coming up as any types of job. So how are we going to take this when it comes to our own kids? How are we going to see or know how their careers or their future is going to look like, since now we have a different situation altogether? We have seen that sometimes our parents would force people to do the kind of jobs that they are not suitable for or they are not talented at. For an example, you have at a clinic where a nurse is not even passionate about their job, thereby getting like certain treatments that you're not supposed to get when you are treating a patient. So yeah,
makes sense. Well, yeah, like you're saying, we have been conditioned to think like that, especially the generation before us. We were taught that for one to be deemed successful, you have to have a white collar job. You must be waking up in the morning dressed formally and going to sit at a desk and work. So everyone was striving for that kind of a job.
Yes.
Whether you're a teacher, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, as long as you're these 9 to 5 jobs are the ones that we had been conditioned to. And now it's a transition that is not very easy to slide into.
Yes.
It's not very easy now to transition into this kind of a new kind of thinking, where you can think of even sports as a career for a child, where you can think of entrepreneurship as a career for a child,
yes,
where you can think of IT as a career.
But I also get where they were coming from. I think it was a fear of how it's going to be, because I think when it comes to white collar jobs, it was always guaranteed that you might get a job once you're done with your degree or whatever course you're doing towards it. So I think when it comes to our parents, it was more about securing a job than it was about what you want or what you feel like doing or what you are talented at. So I think that's where they were coming from. Even now, there are certain careers where a person has a small chance of making it than other careers, depending on how they learn. And some people has to advance to a certain stage for you to be able to get a better job when it comes to a certain career. So also I think there is that thing where we think our kids don't know what they want, and our kids might always change and they don't know what life is and what life is about. So I think for us, we have to look at it deeper and think if we really want to go with our kids' passions and desires, or we just want to guide them and show them that, okay, if you have this and that, you can choose, but the consequences might be A, B, C. Or what do you think? Do we have to just leave them be, or do we have to give guidance still when it comes to choosing their career?
I think as parents and guardians, we have that responsibility to guide them, but also in our guidance we have to make sure that we have changed our kind of thinking. We're not thinking in the old way. We are also moving with the times.
Yes.
I've noticed that there are some parents that are going to try and push you into a career that they thought they would go into.
Exactly.
If they thought they were going to be a doctor and they failed, then they make sure that their child is going to be a doctor. They want to push you into being a doctor because they could not.
That's a great point.
Of which now maybe the person doesn't have passion for that. Or if you like look at our own country,
Yes.
everyone has a degree.
Yes.
The better population of the country has some kind of education, a diploma, a certificate, a course that they did, a degree. But all of those guys, I'm sure 10 or 15% of them are working right now, are employed. Most of the people who have gone to universities, to colleges, to technical institutions are not employed. So in as much as parents, we want our kids to have a qualification, we want our kids to have an education, or be the highest educated person in the family. We have to think of now in the economic situation that we are living in the world that we're living in now, is as fast as it is moving technology-wise. Is it gonna be viable? Is it gonna make is the child gonna make a living? Is it gonna put food on the table?
Yes. Indeed, I think you made a great point, especially when you say that as parents we have that thing where we want to force our kids to accomplish the goals or things that we couldn't accomplish ourselves, and force them to do those things because you yourself couldn't do them, or you lost an opportunity, or you couldn't even get school fees, or whatever that stopped you from doing that. And also, as you are saying, when it comes to a lot of degrees, some people are learning, but you still go and sit at home and figure out how to make a living, even if you hold those kind of degrees. So I think it all comes down to the economy as well, and how it's thriving when it comes to some types of jobs. So if you find that sports now, as you can see, sports, I think in the old days it was also difficult to get exposure when it comes to those type of careers, for you to be seen by a person who is in the UK or somewhere far outside of Africa, or for us to see the kids that are striving in that area outside of our own world. But with the internet, I think it gets easier. Your child can get exposure on certain things that they want to do, and they can meet other people from outside of the world that can help them advance their career and have a better future. But the concern still is there, because I think even now, I can give an example. For example, my son likes to play sports, but also there is a fear that he needs to have an education as a backup, so that maybe if the sports doesn't work out, he will still have something to fall back on. But now, what I'm thinking as a parent, I think what we should strive for our kids to have is skills whereby they don't need an employment for them to use. I don't know any type of skills that they can acquire, whether it's, I don't know, what kind of skills can I think of? just handiwork, something to do. Even if they're going to do carpentry, they're going to do whatever, any skill that is that can be useful for them, where they can go and say, okay, this thing that I wanted to do didn't work out as I wanted to. Let me try making tables and chairs, and let me sell those tables and chairs. Some type of handiwork, something they can use their hands to do, so to create some creativity. I think that might help as well, besides just having a degree sitting at home. Because I think the problem starts when we need an employer to help us achieve whatever we want to have. It is a problem for us to say, oh, I need to find a job first. No job, no life. So they need to have something that can make a living for them, while they can use their hands and find materials for themselves, and then, feed their families or feed themselves.
Yeah, you're right, Ed. Like, you made a very valid point there, that it's important for them to have skills. It's important for us to strive for skills more than the other things. Even if we want them to have a college degree, there should be a balance.
Yes.
Your child without that degree should still be able to function, should still be able to make something and make a living. Because a skill will take you far, and you can make a living and you can feed your family from a skill. But now, if you look at it, the degrees, the kind of certificates that we are getting, let's use our own country as an example. In Zimbabwe, some of those degrees that we're getting now, there are literally no jobs for those degrees. There are no jobs for those degrees. But if someone had acquired a skill, they could still do something for themselves. And I think our biggest mistake is thinking that we should be employed.
Exactly.
Like you say.
Yes.
If you go now and look at the better part of the population, you realize that everyone now is selling something.
Exactly.
Everyone is an entrepreneur. Let's say we are at my hometown in Araim Fakosi, you will find that everyone is selling something.
Yes.
The whole street, the whole line. Maybe you find one person who's waking up in the morning and he has a uniform and going to work.
Yes.
But the rest of them, they are selling vegetables, snakes, they're selling fuel, they're selling anything, clothes from Mabero.
Yes.
Everyone is trying to do that. Everyone's selling second-hand furniture, second-hand clothes, everyone is trying to sell. And that's how they're putting food on the table. That's how they're buying bread for their kids. That's how they're paying fees.
Yes.
So now we need to start shifting from that idea of thinking that one has to be employed. We need to change our mindset and move from thinking that one must only be employed to make a living. That 9-to-5 job, actually, I don't know a lot of millionaires who were made from the 9-to-5 job. It's entrepreneurs. It's people that are thinking outside the box. So yes, skills are very important for our kids to have, because that will take them far. That will help them to not be like disabled when now the degree is not working, now the job cannot be found.
Yes.
If you are able to cook, bake cakes, or I don't know, make pies and sell, those skills are important.
Yes.
If you're able to put things together, if you're able to fix stuff, you will do something with that. Even farming.
Yes.
You can grow vegetables, but skills are what are the things that matter. Like you said.
And you can employ other people as well. It can give you an opportunity to create jobs if you are a skilled person. You can also teach other people how to do the same skill, and I think it's also industrial for people to be like that, because all these industries need people that are making something for the world to have goods. So if we are more skilled than we need to have a job, then we are good. And yes, they are all sectors need people, right? But when we equip more skills, we can be able to build our economy better. And I think our economies are falling now because a lot of people were not prepared for the situation that it is now, where you have to be self-employed for you to actually make something out of yourself. We were only conditioned to say, when I'm done with my high school, I go to university, after that I get a job and I work for the rest of my life, retire at 65, and then you eat pension or whatever that is. But now the economy is forcing us to actually think outside of the box, as you were saying. You are forced to think, okay, now I have a degree in my house, it's not working for me. What can I do? What skill can I do? What can I sell? And if you look, the main point here is selling. All those industries, they are selling something. If you're a doctor, you are selling medicines. If you are a lawyer, you are selling a service where you have to wait for people in court or whatever. So everything is sales. It all comes down to sales. But what are you selling and how are you doing it? So I think that's what we should teach our kids. Life offers, and now you have to stress about this place that you're going to every morning and you hate it. So they should also love what they are doing as well.
Of course, that's true, because your life on its own is a life work. Now you must wake up and go to a job that you don't like, and wake up and do stuff that you don't like. That's a lot, Yeah, but yeah, you're right, We definitely need to guide our kids. We definitely have to give options and talk to them and have discussions about advantages and disadvantages of the line of work they are thinking of going into. You find that a child will say, I want to model.
Yes.
That's what I like. I want to model. So it's our duty as parents to sit down. Not that we're discarding and saying, you can have a model. I will not have a model in my house.
Exactly.
Okay. You want to make modeling as a career. These are the advantages. These are the pros. These are the cons. It's not going to work for this reason. It might work for this reason. Okay, if you really want to do that, you must add these skills to that, so that if this fails, then you can fall back onto something else. Yes. Otherwise, it's going to be a fight. And also remember, kids, they've got this tendency of wanting that thing that you say they must listen. They will become rebellious, because they're not interested in whatever you're trying to push them to.
Yes, and they are like that when it comes to, the more you resist, the more they want that thing. And I also think that we should be supportive enough as parents when it comes to whatever they like to do and understand. And I think just being present, if it's whatever they're doing, just show up, just to show some support and show them that you're always there with them through all the process of things that they want to do. Sometimes some kids realize later that, oh, this one, I like it, but it's actually not for me, it's not working. And then you just ask them, so what's next? What do you want to do next? And I think the more we communicate with our kids openly, the more they will also open up to us on how they are feeling, how they're seeing the world. Because I think our own parents never understood that part where you sit down and actually ask your kid how they feel and how they want their life to look like. And there was no support where you just say, I want to do this, and your parents will say yes. As you are saying, they'll actually say, I don't have a kid who will model in this house. I don't want anyone who does ABC in this house. So I think we're uptight with our parents. We never even had that openness and those conversations where you just go and say, oh, Mama, I think I want to do ABC. I think I'm good at being a model. I think I would like to be a baker. So I think also when a child shows passion for something at a young age, it's an opportunity for us to make them a pro at that thing. If they stick to it, by the time they're 20, that kid will actually know the ins and the outs of whatever they are doing. But also I think we have to give our child the opportunity to learn, because at times I think as parents we want to guide our kids so much. We don't want harm to come to them. We don't want anything bad to happen to them. We don't want them to experience pain and disappointment when it comes to certain things. But also, if they learn to say, okay, go to the soccer or go to whatever you want to do, and by the end of the day, if they come and say, Mama, you know what, this is not for me, they've learned in their own way, and they've seen what it does to them, and they've seen everything, instead of us just to say, oh, it's not good, or it's not what.
Yeah, you're right. Hey? Yeah, after all, experience is the best teacher. But I really like what you're pointing out. So it's very important for us to be supportive. It is very important. It's better for a child to realize, like you're saying, that this is not for me, or I'm not talented enough, or I just like this thing, but because my friend does it, or I like this personality on TV because they do it, but it's not for me. But we have to be supportive. In that support, in that being supportive, that's how we can see. That's how these kids can even shock you.
Yes.
That's how they can shock you even. That's how you can find a superstar in being supportive. But we will not get there if we are holding them back.
Yes.
We will not reach that point. And it's important for kids to know that we are their safe place. We are their number one fan before anyone else. So in as much as we want to have control over what they're going to decide, which route their life is going to take, it's important for us to be flexible. It's important for us to be open-minded and to think outside the box, and also not to have too many limitations on our kids.
Yes.
Yeah, to say, because my grandfather was a pharmacist, I am a pharmacist, you must also be. Exactly, you must continue the line. It's a generational thing, and sometimes it doesn't work like that. Sometimes they have to follow their passion. Sometimes they are actually good at something else. Exactly. They might tell you that I am very good at dancing.
Yes.
I want to have a TikTok account, or an Instagram account, or a YouTube account where I can showcase. But because we have a lot of restrictions, and it's easy for us to quickly say, no, it's not going to happen. And yet there are ways that you can actually help them and make sure they're safe on the internet. Make sure they're safe as they're posting their stuff on YouTube. Be guiding in that way where you're also supportive.
Yes.
Not to just brush them aside and decide which way their life is going to take.
And we've seen such stories with a lot of YouTubers nowadays. If you follow some of these YouTubers, like one of them who does stories, he tells stories of crime and stuff. I heard that he had this course and he went to this fancy school. He can be like one of the top dogs in whatever industry that he studied, but he left all that for YouTube, and he's making a fortune from YouTube. Only if his parents would have said, okay, do whatever you want. He would have started way back, but he was doing it on the side just to say, okay, my parents want me to do this, let me just do it. But you can see that it's a wasted effort, because now he eventually went to whatever he wanted to do. And all those years in school fees wasted on a degree that is not going to use or ever use, because he's making more money from YouTube than he was going to make in that industry. I was even laughing at this guy. He was studying medicine. He was going to be a doctor, but he left it. He's busy with TikTok and YouTube, and he has millions of followers. And if you check their revenues, these people make millions. You understand? And no doctor is making millions. So yeah, it's one of those things as well where we have to check. Some kids are not rebellious like that. They will agree with you on everything, but still when they are off your hook, they'll do whatever they want anyways. And you see that you've been wasting all those years on things they didn't want to do, and they told you, I don't want to do this. And they do it anyways, and then leave it. You're a happy mama, I have a doctorate or whatever, but I'm not going to use it. So, and it's heartbreaking as well for you as a parent, because the effort, the school fees, whatever, there's a lot of money in some of these educations and stuff, instead of just investing in whatever they want to do. So yeah, I think as parents we should also, there's a lot of things that we should check with our kids. It's a broad issue. I think it all comes down to the type of parenting you want to do. And I used to admire kids that had parents, we had always that one mom or that one day that would be dancing at the sports, supporting their children. Mama! Yes! All the time. Even if it's the smallest kind of sports,
They'll be there.
They'll be there supporting you. You'll be like, wow, this one. I wish I had a mom like that or a dad like that.
Because it's the support that matters more.
Yes.
Because remember, our kids, they only know us, their parents, and their guidance first before they know anyone else. And we are the one person that they really, really want to make proud.
Exactly.
So the fact that you are there supporting them, and you are backing them, and you are saying go, 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 being their cheerleader, it will take them to greater heights.
And I think it builds their self-confidence as well.
Yes.
I think those kids that have all their parents' support always have a higher self-esteem than those that have to hide and go and say, oh, my parents doesn't want this.
Because your parent is not believing in you.
Exactly.
Because who else then? Because even the child will doubt themselves if the parent is not believing in them.
They won't reach their full potential because there's self-doubt as well. You're also making it worse by saying, no, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do that. So, yeah, it is the world that we're living in.
Okay, guys, this is an intense topic, okay?
Yes.
But let us know what you guys think. Let us know your opinions and comments. And maybe one day we'll get back to this topic again with
more details and dive deeper. I think next time we can do it as what kind of parenting do we want to have, or what kind of parent do you want to be to our kids? Because it's not only the career part, it's deeper. It goes to dating life,
of course,
emotions, a lot of things, puberty, you know.
That's it.
So it's a lot, guys. So how are you parenting your own kids? What do you think? Do you think we should still use the old ways of, guiding our kids to say be a doctor or white collar job, or should we let our kids be what they want to be?
But let us know. But thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, your family, and we'll definitely see you next week.
Thank you very much, guys. Hope you have a great weekend.
Ciao.
Ciao.